Why he wants to go back to Paradise so bad, right? Before you guys get into it, I want to urge you to check out what is technically part 1 to this video. However, I don't personally think you need to know the things talked about in that theory. Anyway, back to the video. What a cool guy, am I right? He's so mysterious and, to be honest, doesn't even look like Eren. Enough about Zeke. We're gonna focus on a lot of separate things in this theory, including how Zeke transforms humans using his spinal fluid. Let's get into some speculation about spinal fluid. Let's set some things straight first. I believe that only the spinal fluid from a mindless Titan can turn Eldians into Titans, while the spinal fluid from shifters only gives them attributes or abilities. From that, we can conclude a lot of reasoning behind Annie wanting to kill Sonny and Bean in Season 1 of the anime. We could also begin to theorize the first Ymir's Titan and also about how Zeke's powers work. Before going into any theories, let's remember the times we see spinal fluid injections in the manga. The first time we see it being used is by Rod Reese. The way Rod does it isn't interesting, but what is the Brawn/Armor Serum, which is presumably from the Armored Titan and gave the hardening power to Eren once he ate it. After that, we have Ymir's flashback to where she came from and how she ended up inside of the walls. This time, we see Marley and soldiers injecting her with the Titan Serum to send her off to Utopia. After Ymir, we have to wait a little bit, but the wait is worth it because it's Armin we're waiting for. Armin gets turned into a regular mindless Titan too, and the methods don't change. So, nothing too important. Finally, we see just a bunch of Eldians and Marley after the Restorationists get captured, and those two are just normal injections, causing normal mindless Titans. Nothing too strange about these injections, however. The injections that really make us confused are the ones that aren't shown in the manga yet. And where it gets very interesting is that in Ragako Village, Zeke somehow used his own spinal fluid to turn the villagers into mindless Titans. We have to assume that when it comes to normal human Eldians, then Shifter Serum and Titan Serum makes no difference and still turns you into a mindless Titan. However, that changes when the inheritor is already a shifter. If a shifter consumes Shifter Serum, then that shifter now gains the ability attributed to the serum. I believe that only the Founding Titan, or any holder of the coordinate, are able to turn Eldians into mindless Titans using their own Shifter Serum. Now you may be thinking, what the hell does that even mean? Because Zeke doesn't have the coordinate, so how can he do it? Well, Zeke is an exception because he has royal blood, to put it in simple terms. If any of you are confused at this point, like almost all of you probably are, here's how Titan injections work. Spinal fluid from a mindless Titan injected into a human yields a mindless Titan with a chance of an abnormal Titan. Spinal fluid from a shifter injected into a human yields nothing. Spinal fluid from a shifter injected into a human yields nothing. Then, injected with mindless Titan spinal fluid yields a mindless Titan with a chance of an abnormal Titan. Spinal fluid from a shifter injected into mindless Titans yields either attributes and abilities given to the mindless Titan, or the possibility that nothing happens. Spinal fluid from a shifter injected into a human yields nothing, however, can be turned into a mindless Titan later by the coordinate because the original spinal fluid was used to create a path. This is how Zeke transforms Eldians into Titans. Spinal fluid from a shifter injected into another shifter yields the abilities from the other shifter. This is how Eren learns to harden. Knowing this, we can conclude that Zeke really does hold his own coordinate. Annie probably killed Sonny and Bean before Hange could experiment with their spinal fluid and possibly find out how to create Titans. The warriors prioritized killing Sonny and Bean over their hidden identities because they knew the Waldians couldn't get any results by experimenting with Eren's spinal fluid. The original Founding Titan could give any attributes to the Titan he created, but then lost this power when the 9 powers were separated. It is possible that Eren could get this power back by eating the other shifters. The opponents of the Eldians during Ymir or the 145th King's reign must have gotten their hands on some mindless Titans that were then kept or used as a source of spinal fluid, as the mindless Titans created from them can also be used to get spinal fluid. Alright, that's gonna just about do it for this theory, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I sure did. Everything about it kept me on the edge of my seat. If you guys have any questions or if you think I messed up on something, please feel free to leave that in the comments and I'll probably respond. If you guys like this theory, then I strongly suggest that you head on over to one of my earlier videos titled, What Really Happened in Ragako Village? Sounds ominous, right? There, I discuss more in-depth details related to the Ragako Village incident and everything that we need to know about Zeke. I might be remaking that video with new updated information soon, and also because I lacked experience back then in video management. Therefore, if you want to see that soon, make sure you subscribe. My new goal is 1,000 subscribers, and I'm sure most of you can guess why. Anyway, if you're too lazy to look up my Ragako Village video, then the link will be in the description. And here's a clip from that video.
And on top of that, he can control Titan. Wait. The first order he gave on screen was not followed. The Titan disobeyed him. This is kind of a weird first impression. No other Titan in the course of the whole series disobeyed him. No Titan during the rematch between the Scouts versus Reiner, Bertolt, and Zeke. No disobedience is seen when he's fighting in Marley. Why would this act of disobedience not be seen after so many years? It only happened with that Titan of Ragako Village. It is strange for Isayama to introduce this flaw in the Beast Titan, only to never have it come up again after all the battles, after all those years. Even when we were introduced to Eren, we see from his debut he has a little temper. And this indeed does follow him throughout the series. But imagine if in his debut, we see him with this temper tantrums, but after that one episode, he's as calm as a pickle for the next 5 years, and it never comes up again. Strange? No? Some of you may think, oh well, Zeke is half royal, he's not full royal blood, or else he'd control them perfectly. For any of you guys wondering why I say Zeke is half royal, it's because his mother was royal and his father was not. So therefore, he does not have full royal blood based on what we know, but he is of royal descent. If this flaw is inherent to him because of genetic reasons, then given the large data set that we have throughout the series, we should rightfully expect another Titan to disobey him. But the fact that it hasn't happened in 4 years is completely ridiculous. Isayama felt it wasn't important to show it again. Here's what I think. The disobedience occurred because of something unique in that Titan of Ragako Village. Something unique in all of them. But we didn't have a data set large enough to see if it happened more than once within the Ragako villagers. I think Zeke creating those Titans was not part of his plan. I think those villagers already had his spinal fluid. But not exactly his. Only partly his. Which is why that Titan disobeyed him. It was Grisha's spinal fluid. In the beginning of the series, we hear the military police address Eren as the son of Dr. Jaeger, the man who cured the plague. This is a plague that ran rampant within the walls. I think that at one point, Carla was even afflicted by it, and so was her family. How did he cure this plague? Presumably, we have other intelligent doctors within the walls. Why couldn't they cure it?